Hey, this is Brittany Griner from the Phoenix Mercury, and you listen to the 3-Point Conversion.
About Nneka, and in terms of, well that it's not easy to make an Olympic team for the first time, when you're over 30. And was just wondering your hopes for her as she kind of continues to pursue this Olympic dream in whatever country that might be.
Yeah, I'm always rooting for Nneka. Nneka and I, we started in this system together. I think we played U17s, U18s, U19, 21, and almost every camp for USA national team in between. And so I've always been really close with Nneka. She's one of the ones that I'm closer with in the W. And I'm always rooting for her. And I think that if she wants to, I think that she'll be very capable of making an Olympic team, even though she's over 30, as you put it, which hurt my heart. But yeah, I'm always rooting for her. And, I just wish her nothing but the best. And she's one of the best in this league. She's been an MVP, she's been a champion. And, whether she makes an Olympic team or not, or whatever she decides to do, it's not going to define her career, which is in my mind a first ballot Hall of Fame career already.
Dawn was saying earlier that if she does wind up playing with Nigeria, they would be a medal contender. Your thoughts on what
Absolutely, absolutely, instantly. They already have a lot of talented players, and it's an up and coming team who, obviously gave us a run for our money when last time we faced them. But I mean, they have a ton of talent. They're players, and their program, you got to give hats off to them as far as player development. And we'll see a preview of that in a few days.
Thank you.
And then Kelly, you're on deck.
Skylar, last night was the first of the 3 exhibitions that you guys have ramping up to Tokyo. It was what did you learn from last night's experience on the court, and what was that experience like for you?
Well, I mean, the environment is different. I mean, in the All-Star game, as far as the other side, I mean, you got to credit them. It's no rules, it's no pressure. They're playing light, having fun with it. I think we're a little bit more focused on developing our team chemistry, learning chemistry on both sides of the floor, offensively, defensively. We went through a lot of film today of areas where we feel like we can get better, taking care of the basketball, boxing out, not allowing second chance points. And then, for all of us, sometimes on this team, you try to stay out of each other's way. And, we just talked about everybody just, continuing to be a threat, how we can share the ball and get everybody involved. And so we're just trying to get that chemistry. It's not, I always say it's not instant oatmeal. We had one practice and then we jumped on the floor, against a very talented bunch. But, it was great for us to get out there together. Obviously for me, and I'm excited to have this jersey on and start this journey. But, I didn't really put too much weight to it. We're just trying to continue to find ways to get better before and prepare for Tokyo.
Thank you.
Kelly?
Hey, Skylar, Kelly Cohen with ESPN. We talked a little bit yesterday about how things have come, full circle for you since college, being named to Team USA now. I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit more about what you've changed, about your game as a guard over the years since you got into the league, and how you think that's paved the way for younger players. And I feel we're the same age, so I hate when people bring up.
No, that's hilarious. I think just continuing to develop my game on both ends of the basketball, floor, both sides of the ball, excuse me. Just learning more about myself. Obviously, the best teacher is just experience. You learn this game, it slows down for you a little bit, after the first year or two, and you just kind of see where, I can make my niche and, just continue to develop my confidence. But for me, it's really like the player development part of it in the off season, because I don't go overseas. So, really just that player development aspect, those 6 or 7, so months that where everyone else is playing and continuing to get in their rhythm, how can I stay in shape? How can I, continue to challenge myself without necessarily being in organized competition, for months at a time in the off season. So it really just finding different things out about myself, about my body, to help me kind of keep that competitive edge, if you will, and just having more confidence in this league, you know, as a guard, as a veteran.
What do you think about following up, like kids that are in college now, kids, right? Like, what are they, are there any like college kids that reach out to you? What would you tell them about how you were just saying all these things that you've done kind of
Sure.
like, do you
Yeah,
think
all the
they're-
time, all
Yeah.
the time. It's really a case by case basis. I think you just have to figure out what your aspirations are. If you want to play in this league, then you have to play. This is the most competitive league to not only enter, but to stay into, because every year it's just, the talent just continues to grow. Our game just continues to get more and more competitive. You know, people are evolving. When I first got in the league, you know, players that necessarily didn't shoot outside shots, now they're shooting outside shots. You know, big girls, everybody can do all these things. There's so much skill and talent in this league that you can't just talk about it. You got to be about it. And it's just about putting the work in. And, you know, it's all about fit really in the WNBA. So yeah, I college players all the time, you know, younger players reach out all the time about aspirations that they may have. And I always say, if you want to play basketball, you have to play basketball, and you have to be coachable, because in this league at the professional level, you know, they don't take that shit. You're gone, you know, if you're not coachable. So just have the right attitude, and put the work in.
Awesome. Thanks.
Zora Stevenson?
Hi, Skylar. Zora Stevenson with NBC. The numbers speak for themselves when it comes to like the offensive talent on this team. How much is coach focused on defense, and how important do you think it'll be in this journey?
I think it's the most important thing. We know what we all can do, obviously, on the offensive side of the basketball, but it's about developing our chemistry defensively. That's gonna tell us how good of a team that we're gonna be able to be, and how far we'll be able to go, because a lot of other teams are basing their efforts off of what they're doing off of their defense, their game off the defensive end. So, you know, for us, we have to continue to develop that chemistry, and we have to be passionate on that side of the basketball.
A second question for you. You've been super open about your journey with motherhood and now what this means to you now that you have a son. How do you prepare yourself to be away for weeks at a time?
I always wonder, do you guys ask the guys that question?
So I was just thinking about this today.
If it's me, or if it's just, I mean, anywhere I am.
You don't have to answer if you're not comfortable. You don't
No,
have to.
I'm very comfortable, but I always just wonder, you know, that's it. Sometimes that's disappointing, because I just wonder. Anywho, but yeah, my son, you know, of course I'm gonna miss him as a full-time mom. You know, I couldn't do any of the things that I do without my husband Daniel and my support system. You know, so we have a great village. Luckily, you know, for me, I've been blessed with a great village who always leans in, and it'll be no different. He'll be well taken care of. So of course I'll miss him and my husband, my immediate family being around, but I have no worries there as far as his well-being.
I will make sure I ask the men the same thing.
Please
Skylar.
do.
Yes, I got you.
Thanks, Zora.
And Jen Hatfield, and then we'll close out with John Davis.
Hey, Skylar, Jen Hadfield with the Next. Speaking of the men, with the news coming out about Team USA men and a couple of players entering health and safety protocols and their game against Australia being in jeopardy, you know, I don't know how much you all are interacting with them in Vegas, but is there any concern among you guys about that situation and what it might mean for you all?
Well, I think it just you know, brings back the importance of making sure we follow these health and safety protocols that are in place for us. COVID is still alive and well. It's a lot of cases, you know, in a lot of states, and a lot of people taking precautions. You know, it's not over. So, you know, luckily, I feel like we have a great veteran responsible group who's been following the health and safety protocols put in place. And, you know, in my mind, we didn't come this far just to come this far. You know, we all want to get to Tokyo healthy, and we all want to compete. And so, yeah, that just makes us all kind of tighten up a little bit.
Did those protocols keep you separate from the men, or has there been any overlap?
Oh yeah, we don't have any interaction as far as like practice or training rooms or you know, weight rooms. They'll be in practice when we have access to those facilities, and vice versa.
Thank you.
We'll close out today with John Davis.
Hey, what's going on, Sky? John W. Davis with Winsider. I wanted to ask you about this. Have you thought much about the fact that, you know, every player that's on your team is going to be playing alongside a current WNBA teammate. What do you think that means, and how do you think that can help?
Yeah, I think it's dope. I noticed that the other day when we were doing media, everybody had like a teammate that they were going with. I'm sure that it is a level of comfortability there that kind of helps, familiarity as far as, we may know each other as far as being in the system or passerbys, but this is a significant amount of time that we're spending around one another. So it's great to see people's dynamics, obviously I have 2 teammates here, and I think that's great, not only for us, being here and experiencing those things together, but also just in preparation, to finish the season out in Phoenix, and us continuing to, play, stay in shape, and just have this experience. So yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's dope, and it says a lot about the talent around these teams and in our league.